The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
And now, it's time for Radio Jobline with your host, Scott Possessor, right here on 103.9 LI News Radio.
Welcome, everybody. It must be Saturday afternoon from 2 to 3 p.m., or it might be Wednesday night from 9 to 10 p.m. We're on twice a week to talk about your career, dissect the job market, give you tips about how to do resumes, cover letters, interviews, everything related to being successful in the workforce. We have covered on this show so many different issues related to the workplace, and we've actually been doing it for 32 years on between television and radio for Jobline. So we'll keep on burning the night oil for the job hunter out there. And job hunters have a little something to worry about all of a sudden with the recessionary economics we're dealing with. We had the Lebenthal economist on the show a couple of weeks ago. He seemed to give a pretty decent picture. Nothing bad is going to happen like 2009. But I tell you, folks, depending on who you read, it could be worse than that. You just don't know. But it was good today, or actually Wednesday, that the market went way up because they said they were going to cut back on the increases in the rates. So let's hope that the Fed knows what it's doing. The recession does seem to be getting a little bit better. So we'll see what the status is on that and if it can be sustained, although job creation was not good this month. Only 125,000 jobs were created. That's about half of what was created the previous month. Makes sense. There's been layoffs. We're going to be talking tonight about one of my favorite subjects, something I'm very engaged in myself, and something that all of us need to do a better job with. And it's a frequent topic here. We talk about it 3-4 times a year on this radio show. It's how to brand yourself on social media. And, things are changing. Social media is changing. I even noticed that if you think back to some of the social media platforms that were so big at the beginning, where are they now? Right? I'm trying to think of that one that was sort of like Facebook before Facebook came around. It was the one. MySpace, right. And then there was now Facebook, I think, has started to lose a little bit of attention. I personally am off Facebook. I'm not even on it. I don't want to be on it. It's too toxic for me. I can't stand looking at those posts. So that's it. I'm a big LinkedIn ninja. Everybody on this radio show knows that. I believe in LinkedIn. I think it's a great social media platform. I don't see political posts on LinkedIn. I don't see the kind of stuff I don't want to see, the toxic posts. So I'm a big fan of LinkedIn, but there are other great social media platforms that people are using, Instagram, Snapchat. I'm sure you can give us a whole litany of what's there. But my guest is really a digital media wizard. Frank's been serving the web. His name, I should say, is Frank DeBlasi. Not to be confused with Fred DeBlasi from wrestling.
No. That's DeBlasi, actually.
Oh, DeBlasi, right.
I do remember him very well.
Oh, yeah, he was funny. He's been serving the web and digital media world for 2 decades. His expertise ranges from building and managing websites and creating marketing campaigns for award-winning companies to co-founding and creating Hoopla Doopla, a leading online shopping portal. He has been featured on popular television shows on major networks such as Fox Business, Fox News, and ABC, as well as various magazines, news websites, blogs, and radio outlets. Whether overseeing and directing designers and marketers or lending specific skills to a project, Frank is a team player who's driven to produce results. After graduating college in the mid-1990s, Frank discovered his passion for the web and digital media. An eager self-learner, he built his first website over the course of 1 weekend. Nowadays, you can do that in an afternoon with an existing platform.
Pretty much.
Upload a couple of pictures and put loads of content, and you got it.
Yeah. They make it very easy for you.
So anyway, what we're going to talk about today is what people should do and what people should not do. But before we do, tell us a little bit about you and what you do, your firm, and so on.
I've been, as you mentioned, in the digital media field now for over 20 years. I started out, as a graphic designer doing print stuff in the 90s. And once the web came along, I sort of wanted to shift over to that, and I'm glad I did, because that's pretty much where everything is going now. Print is not dead, but it's been on its way out a lot. Everything is now online and in digital form. I just love the whole internet. I was the kid that sat at home when I came home from college in the late 90s and just played on the internet. But more than played on the internet, I actually looked under the hood at websites and actually saw how things went on. And that's what really fascinated me about getting into the web and digital media world. And, since then, I've been building and managing websites for 20 years. I co-founded and built, Hoopla Dupla as my, a company and venture that I built. And it's just something that's been with me for the last 20 years. I love what I do, and it's a lot of fun.
Okay, so let's talk about branding yourself on social media. Why is this important? Can't the person say, I don't want to do social media?
What I try to tell people is focus on the word social. When you walk into a room of people, big crowded room, whether it's a wedding, a party, or something like that, the words, what you're really focusing on is what people's instant impression of you is. In the first 30 to 60 seconds, when you walk into a room without even people talking to you or even approaching you, they're going to get some kind of a vibe off of you as to what kind of person you are, how you dressed clean, or how are you approaching other people. This is the same mentality you have to take with your social media profiles, because when the first 30 to 60 seconds that people see your social media profiles, they're going to get that same vibe off of you by reading your posts, seeing how your profiles are put together, how together are they, is there any empty holes, the things that you're saying, how people are engaging on your posts. These are all things that give people impressions within a short time of seeing you, and that's really why it's important.
So less and less people, Frank, over the years are staying away from social media. Pretty much everybody's gotten sucked into it now. Grandparents, for pictures, whatever.
Yeah.
Even older folks are into it. But I wonder about the longevity of all this, because what about a person that says, I'm sick of social media? Well, I've been bullied, I've been harassed, I've been this or that. And people say, I don't want to do this anymore. Why do I need to do it at all?
But you know what? It's those are people that, we've all had good and bad experiences on social media. But again, those things happen in regular everyday life as well, even without social media. It's just another outlet to express yourself and get your face out into the world and for people to see who you are. So it really depends on how you carry yourself on social media, what platforms you're using, why you're using them. Are you using them just for social purposes? Are you using them to brand yourself? Are you using them to push sales to a business? So it really depends on why you're using the platforms and in social media in general to really, decipher, the type of, quote unquote trouble that you say some people get into and other people who are actually thriving using it.
All right. So Frank, a few years ago, Snapchat wasn't big. Right. Yeah. But now it's huge.
Yeah.
Right. I can remember 8 years ago or so, there was no such thing as Instagram. And then Instagram came out of nowhere,
right.
Got bought by, was it Meta? And then made millions of dollars. So the question I'm asking is, what platform should we be on? I mean, it seems like if MySpace was so good, well, what happened to it? And then why did it fade out, and why has it been replaced? And where is social media going? Are you going to have an unlimited number of platforms someday, like 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 platforms? When does it stop?
I think asking the question of what's the right social media platform is kind of asking like Scott, what's the right car for you to drive? It's what your needs are and what you're trying to do and what's going to work best for you. Every social media platform has its own audience for particular types of people that that engage in certain types of things. Like Instagram, you mentioned, that's very pictorial. People go on there to show pictures of products that they sell, or pictures of their kids, or nature pictures that they take. So if you have an audience that's interested in looking at pictures of something that you do or something that you sell, Instagram is a good platform for you. If you're more into like the business aspect, LinkedIn is the way to go. That's where people are looking for jobs. That's where people are, other CEOs and entrepreneurs are engaging. That's a good platform for that. Facebook is kind of a little bit of everything else. That's really where family and friends are engaging, but also, corporations have profiles on this. So really, to answer the question as to what the best platform is for you, it's really what you're looking to do.
What about the hottest platform? What's hot?
The hottest platform? I mean, I still see Facebook having the most traffic, overall for a lot of things, as far as, people just generally engaging, and, it's very big for e-commerce. If you go to a lot of Facebook pages of companies, like that people go to every day, like Starbucks and Walmart, there's always coupons and deals and posts on there. You don't really see that much of that stuff on Instagram,
right?
As much as you do on Facebook. So Facebook overall it tends to be the place where I'd like to say everyone is at. Instagram has a big following. A lot of the other platforms have following, but Facebook seems to be the one that everybody's always on and engaging on. In general.
And I'm obviously a dinosaur because I will not go on Facebook.
Yeah.
I just feel like I'm playing into someone's hand when I go there. Like I'm being victimized. I just don't like it. But when I go to LinkedIn, I don't feel that.
No.
Everybody posts, but it's always business. It's always trying to help other people.
It's a more mature audience.
Yeah, I think that.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
And there isn't any of the vitriol that you see on Facebook.
No.
I mean, if you're not paying attention, you can wind up on a page where you're looking at a serious hate Biden or hate Trump thing, and then you kind of get wrapped up in it, and you have to express yourself, and then next thing you know, you're in this chain, of vitriol. And you didn't intend to be there. That wasn't why you went there.
And that's the reason you have to watch how you carry yourself on these platforms, because we're talking about using social media for job hunting and building your image online. Again, all those things that you say on there, you never know who's watching you. Search engines pick up on comments and posts and stuff like that, so you really have to watch how you carry yourself.
For sure. So we're all very careful on LinkedIn, but I think what LinkedIn also does, maybe it doesn't, but we users do, is if I see a political post,
right,
and I did see one a few months back where somebody had a big picture of Donald Trump, and I'm not saying I'm for or against them, big picture of Donald Trump, my president.
Yeah.
Right? And it had thousands of comments, all negative. All negative. Nobody, except the people who didn't like the negative comment, would then come back and say, well, you're wrong because he was the greatest president ever. But the point is when we see that, you know what I do? Please keep politics off LinkedIn.
Right.
That's my comment.
But you know why a lot of people do that? You've heard the term bad press is good press. People sometimes put stuff on there looking for thousands of negative comments because it's drawing attention to their post and it's bringing people to their main profile. That's why they do it. And I see through it all the time.
Yeah.
Anytime I see, people commenting on political posts or something that they're looking to get personal gain on, I don't even comment on it, whether I feel for it or against it. I don't want to give that person the gratification of me even commenting or engaging on their post just to boost it up even more.
Right.
Just don't ignore it altogether.
But when I did, this only happened once. And when it happened, a lot of people liked my comment.
Yeah.
And they I started a whole trend, of people say, wait a minute, this doesn't belong here.
Yeah.
I've not seen it here before. Go to Facebook if you want to do this, or some political platform, which is, Getter or whatever.
Yeah, or Parler.
Parler, yes. That's the one. So anyway, we try to keep LinkedIn clean, and I don't know about all the others because I'm not on them.
Yeah.
I am on Instagram. But again, I do that because I had pictures of all my radio guests and everything. And like you said, it's good for pictures.
Yep.
And great for videos. At night, it's
a media platform.
I get a LinkedIn, or not from LinkedIn. I get I don't know who sends it to me. It must be coming from Instagram. Would you like to see today's highlights from Instagram? And I get maybe 30 or 40, 15, 20-second videos.
Yeah.
And I wind up usually watching a good portion of them because they're very interesting. They pick the best ones.
Video is the most engaging content online.
Yeah.
People don't, as the internet and social media evolved over the last 20 years, it used to be blog posts that a lot of people used to read. Then they switched over to photographs and pictures. Now video is the new engagement.
Yes.
So that's really what everybody's
doing. And I haven't really gotten into it so much on LinkedIn. I really should, but I haven't.
But you see reels all over the place, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Reels are very popular now.
Yes. So, all right. So we have some do's and don'ts, but first thing you want to do is you want to keep your accounts updated.
Right. That's the main thing that you really want to do, because the last thing you want to do, you see this even with business profiles. If something looks incomplete, there's no header profile, there's no, main profile icon, and you see there's missing information like contact information, a website, or whatever it is. Any empty holes, especially with important information, is just not good. It just has a very unfulfilling, unsettled look. You just don't want to engage with that person or business when you see empty holes like that.
Or a spelling error.
Spelling errors, yeah.
I see a spelling error on LinkedIn, and I'm like, what? You didn't take the time to spell your name right, or the name of your company?
Yep, and it happens to the best of them. I've seen them on Apple's website. It's just it happens. It's very, very rare, but yes, you do have to pay attention to that stuff.
So
it makes an impression.
Pay attention. Okay. So and then your next one is identify your areas of expertise. And I know what that's coming. What's next?
Right. Right. When I mean areas of expertise, I mean if you're looking to build trust in something that you do for a living, you want to post, about things and start expressing your knowledge and building a following and get people engaging in your posts and build conversation around what you do. And you want to always follow up with them. Never leave posts on that when people engage in your posts, you never just want to leave them dead and not talk back to them. Engage back to them to really show them that you are, an expert at what you're doing and that you really do have knowledge in what you're doing. And, it looks good and it's just important for your reputation.
Maybe join some groups too that are relevant.
Yeah. Create your own.
Right.
Create your own groups. You join other groups because being involved in other groups of people that are experts at what they do, it makes you not only get information off of them, they can learn off of you and vice versa. And by other people seeing that you belong to these groups, that also bumps up your reputation as well.
So now you've identified your areas of expertise. For example, you're great in real estate. That's your thing.
Right.
Okay. And of course, that's a business thing. Mm-hmm. So that would be on LinkedIn. And then you say share content regularly. What kind of content would you share?
Your own content, other content that is from other influencers who are reputable. You can post those on your profile as well because it shows that you follow other people that are important that know what they're doing. It makes you look more important.
When you do that, Frank, do you make a comment before you retweet it or repost it? Do you make a comment?
I would comment only if you're chiming in on something that is related to the article that you feel is important. Like,
right.
If you post something, like you mentioned real estate before,
right.
Like if there's an article, say, listed on the real estate market growing, coming back after the COVID, and you say something, yeah, I agree with this because,
right.
and then people say, okay, yeah, he's not only posting something important related to the real estate field, he's also expressing his knowledge as to why he believes it's going back up.
I don't repost, retweet, or anything unless I make a comment.
Right. Don't do it that often, but every once in a while. It's not like something like every other post you do. You want to take someone else's content. Once in a while, you want to say, hey, look, this is important.
Yeah. Now, I'm very fortunate. Every week I post my radio show, so people know what I'm about.
Sure. But people are looking for that. You've already built the reputation that they're looking for that from you.
Right. So, and then I also write a column. I write tips. Mm-hmm. So we have job on tips. So again, I'm lucky. I have something to post.
Right.
Because I'm developing my own content.
Yes.
But many people, Frank, don't have the writing skill, don't have the content, don't have the areas of specialization, as we just spoke about. They're just regular folk.
Yeah.
Are they supposed to post too?
Yeah. Just everybody's got to start somewhere. And if you have to start by, going beyond building your profile, like we talked about before, keeping everything, up to date and stuff, start, just post what you know so far, and eventually the following will come because it's really not just about the post. It's about the engagement. Mm-hmm. It's about, proving that you can, engage, talk to other sources that, provide the information that you can, back up and why you support it and stuff like that. So the conversations will build if you really engage with the posts. And
I also want to give listeners a tip, at least from me, which is that it takes time.
It does.
To build a following, it takes time. I mean, I've got 9,000 connections, but it's taken me, almost the entire length of LinkedIn's existence to build that many connections. Exactly. And I don't do it haphazardly. When I put someone into my connections, it's strategic.
Yeah.
So all of these people could help me someday if I need a job, could help me if I want to do staffing business with them or whatever. So I am strategic about who I select. Otherwise, I would have 20,000.
And you bring up a good point because it's not always about the size of the audience that you hold. Mm-hmm. It's about the quality of the audience that you hold. I mean, I go to a lot of Facebook pages and all kinds of social profiles, and I see 50,000, 100,000, 200,000 followers, and they post something and only 20 people comment,
right?
Because they have a lot of dead followers. A lot of these profiles, they either have bloated likes. There's ways to buy and engage likes. Sometimes they'll offer something for free and they'll get a like and the person never comes back.
Right.
So it's not only the amount of people that like the profile, it's really the amount of people that engage in the posts. That's where you can really see where the quality of the person is.
But again, my point was it takes time. So don't be impatient. If you're posting, you're not getting much response. It takes time.
Yeah, your content has to get out there.
We did it for the radio show starting about 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. We had SoundCloud links that we put up every week. And the first few weeks I did it, I got like 30 or 40 impressions.
Yeah.
Then within 6 months, it was 100. It's built so slow.
Right.
But now, 4 or 5 years later, we get 2,000 impressions every time we post a show. which is pretty impressive. But it takes time. You got to be patient.
It does, and over time, and as you build up, other people are going to see that your knowledge and experience grows, and they're going to start taking your posts and sharing them out. And before you know it, you're going to have regular influencers that are going to share your content out.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about influencers and next, because that's something that is a word that people hear,
right?
But they're not sure they know. I think they kind of think they know what it means, but we're going to dive into that a little bit deeper.
Right.
You're listening to Radio Jobline with Scott Possessor. We have Frank DeBlasi with us, a terrific expert in the area of social media, websites, anything online. Frank's got the answer. If you have an idea for Radio Jobline and would like to be on the show, you can write to me, scottp118@gmail.com. That's scottp118@gmail.com. And while we're on the subject of websites, don't forget to go to BizShout, B-I-Z-Z, Shout. Wonderful website built by a friend of mine, Charlie Lee, who's going to be a guest on our show in a couple of weeks. He's done such a fabulous job. It's somewhere between Facebook and LinkedIn. Check it out, folks. BizShout, B-I-Z-Z, shout.com. We are listening to the Grateful Dead is what we're listening to. We're going to be back in just a moment with much more on branding your social media. Stay with us.
And now, welcome back to Radio Jobline with your host, Scott Possessor, right here on LI News Radio.
Back, everybody. You're listening to Radio Jobline with Scott Possessor. We have a fabulous guest with us today, Frank DeBlasi, who knows more about social media than everyone, and he's really got some great tips too that are coming up in this part of the show, folks. So you might want to keep a pencil and paper handy. One of the things that you had said was we already covered join groups of interest.
Right.
We were premature on that, but keep your posts positive and engaging.
Right.
Some people actually say negative things. They get on the show and say, "Oh, I hate this. I don't like this." You shouldn't do that, right?
Sometimes negative can be positive, but when I say negative, I don't mean anything like depressing or anything that's going to make anybody's day bad or put them in a bad mood or something like that. You can talk about negative things, but just keep it to a certain level of where it's not going to just depress people or put them in bad moods, kind of thing.
Okay. And then you also sort of keep your image consistent. Now, what do you mean by consistent?
Well, consistent, meaning across, if you're using multiple platforms, you want to keep your image consistent, meaning like just keep all your information and content.
Same picture?
You can mix up different pictures depending on the platform. Like in LinkedIn, you might want to keep a more professional photo on there. Your Facebook or your Instagram, you might want to get a little more fun depending on what you're doing, a little more relaxed tone. But when I say consistent, I mean really keeping your content consistent across the platforms. Try and post the same types of things, but yet cater to the audience that's on the platform. That's really what I mean by consistent.
Okay. All right. A very good tip. And let's talk about influencers. Okay. First of all, what is an influencer and how do you develop influencer relationships?
Okay. An influencer is somebody that has a relatively good amount of audience, a good size audience, and it could be anywhere from 10,000 followers up until a million followers. 1 million plus followers is like celebrity status. Okay. And an influencer is really somebody who not only just has a good following, but the reason why they have that following is because they have a lot of people who engage in their content every day, who what they're doing is very reputable. They sell a lot of stuff. People trust them and stuff. And so those are the kind of people. Depending on what you're doing, you want to get acquainted with them, follow them, try and get them to talk about your content. And you could even post some of their stuff, showing that, hey, I support this influencer. He's got a great reputation for this. So really, that's really what an influence is. It's somebody who has a broad following and for a good reason. That a lot of people engage them and trust their word and their image for what they're doing.
The word viral comes to mind. Because everybody wants to go viral.
Right.
I'm sure having influencers in your network can help you go viral. So they have a lot of clout. They have a lot of connections. If they like something of yours, it's going to get seen by all of their people.
Right.
Right. So you definitely want to. How about just reaching out to them, Frank?
As far as getting an influencer to get a video to go viral, what makes a video go viral is the grip that it has on people. So if you make a video or a post that you want to go viral and just send it to an influencer, it may get a lot of views because of the influence audiences, but it may stop there. It's only going to get views because of the influencer's audience. Viral means people just want to forward it around. They have to see it. They have to read it.
How does something go viral? Let's talk about it. I think people would love to be able to say, yeah, I had 100,000 views or impressions or listens or whatever. How does that happen?
It's a quick, sticky message that people don't forget. It's a quick video that they watch that where something happens that makes them laugh. It's a message that sticks in their head all day that they heard in the morning. So it's all about quick, sticky messages or something that made somebody laugh. That's really what makes something go viral. It's something you see and you can't forget and you have to share with everyone.
Let's talk about the phenomenon of TikTok. Okay, now this is another one that 10 years ago didn't exist, or not that we know of in this country, but it's taken over. It's very popular. You see all these great videos,
right?
And that's obviously what the platform is pushing for is videos, right?
Viral videos,
viral videos. And how do they, do it? How do these people? You read all these stories all the time about some young lady who's 19 years old who's making $80,000 a month, off her TikTok account.
Yep.
So how does that happen?
You could have influencers on TikTok that are just becoming influencers very quickly because TikTok really it gives people it's a very creative platform. If you've ever tried to create a TikTok video, you see all the options that it gives you to do things with text and speed up and slow down your videos. It gives you, the everyday person, the option to make a really cool looking, like you said, video that may go viral. But it's a very simple platform to use, and it's gained its popularity because, again, these short reels have becoming so popular in recent years. People have very small attention spans, and TikTok's videos are very short, quick, concise, and to the point, and that's why people like watching them. Okay,
so I see TikTok is sort of on the rise. TikTok is on the rise, and I see things like some of these other platforms a little bit fading a little bit.
Yeah.
What happened to MySpace? Why did it fail?
MySpace is actually still around. It's actually, I think, more geared towards musicians now. If you go on there, there's a lot of musicians and artists on there that have like their playlist and stuff. So it's still around, but it just never took off as what Facebook was intended to be, because I guess just a lot of the things that Facebook had when it came out were what MySpace should have had, and it was just a more elaborate version of MySpace.
Interesting. Okay. All right. So then let's talk about some do's and don'ts.
Sure.
Okay. Of social media. So folks, if you're listening and you've got a pencil handy, number one, have complete profiles.
Right. Complete profiles. Like I said, just always make sure your images are full. Make sure all the necessary information is filled in on your profiles. Don't leave out any contact information. Don't leave out any websites. Links to other social profiles. Everything should be clean. There's nothing no bigger turnoff or lack of trust in an incomplete social media profile.
Okay.
It's just like going to a website with broken pages or broken links.
Right.
The trust is just gone.
Gotcha. Good. Try to be unique in your content. Now, that's why you were saying before, pick your area that you really know something about.
Yeah, and try and be creative in the way you do it. Just don't just stick to the same wordy posts all the time. Don't just take a picture and post it, or just make a simple video and post it. Try and have a unique niche. Like take a twist on certain things and stuff, and just try and be a little funny or be humorous and stuff like that. Really, the two types of posts that really get engaged, and this is especially on YouTube, are funny videos and videos that teach people things. That's what people really like. People like to learn things and they like to laugh. So try and put a unique twist on your types of posts. Instead of just posting news about a particular thing, maybe say, hey, here's a way you can improve on your on buying a house or doing something specific that you're trying to get across. Okay. So make it fun and unique.
And valuable.
Right, exactly.
Okay. All right. And then your next one is prioritize your networks.
Right. That's pretty much self-explanatory in the sense where, just basically picking the networks for what it is you're doing. Okay. If you're someone who, let's bring up real estate again, is somebody who's, let's say, a videographer for real estate. They have these people flying around and flying drones around now, taking pictures of real estate. YouTube is a great platform for you then. If you're more in a business sense, you'd be better off on LinkedIn. If you're a photographer, Go on Instagram. Choose the platform that's right for you, and look at other people doing what you're doing and seeing what platforms they're using.
Okay, the old benchmarking.
Right.
Project management 101.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a reason why they're doing it.
Okay.
They've done the research for you.
All right. So, and then be entertaining.
Right. Exactly. Again, like I said, with the funny videos, ask questions. People love to answer quizzes and play games and stuff like that. So, gaming is very popular right now on the internet.
Okay. Maintain your identity across all networks. So I think you kind of mentioned that before.
Yep. Keep your profiles all consistent. And also just keep your image and your content relatively the same across all networks, but still, being unique to what the platform is and the audience that's on it.
Okay. So is it okay, just a quick sidebar, is it okay to read an article in the Wall Street Journal or some other periodical about a band, and say, hey, I just read this in the New York Times, here it is.
Right.
Is that cool to do? I mean, because that way, there's no pressure on you to come up with the content.
I would, you could do that once in a while again, but also put your 2 cents in and say, I agree with them on what they said here, or I disagree with them on what they say here. It's not about just taking other content from reputable sources and posting it. It's about putting your 2 cents in and showing people that you have your own say in why they do or don't post what they post.
Right. Okay. And then create interest groups, which we did sort of talk about, but we normally people join. Not create. They don't have the creativity to create their own interest group.
I would suggest joining groups first, build your reputation, and then start creating your own interest group once you have followers on your profile. You get a couple hundred followers on one of your profiles. Create an interest group on that platform. Say, hey guys, look, I just created this group now. Don't do it when you just start the profile because you don't have an audience.
What might be very simple to you, Frank, that was a very good tip.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people would think, I'm just going to create this group and then everybody's going to join it.
Yeah. But if you have no followers on your channel, there's no reason to do it at that moment.
There you go. So now the don'ts of social media do not come off as needy.
Right. Yeah, especially when you're looking for a job or trying to build your reputation in the world, as far as your career goes, don't come off as someone who's just looking for,
So I saw a post this morning, not to interrupt you.
Sure,
I saw a post this morning, and it said, just want to let everybody know I lost my job at so-and-so. Could use whatever help you can give me.
Yeah.
Reach out.
Yeah, that's generally bluntly being needy, but in a quiet needy sense, it's like posting something and say, hey, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to share this post. Don't forget to. That's coming off as needy. The liking and the subscribing should come a little bit natural to people with the type of content that you post. If you're constantly asking for likes and shares and stuff like that, that's really coming off as a quiet needy. That's really what I was going with that.
Very interesting. Yeah.
Don't beg people to share and like your content,
because they're going to do it if they like it.
Exactly, and it's going to feel good to you that they did it naturally because of that.
Excellent. Okay. Do not spam to large, untargeted audiences. How do you mean that?
But if you're just going to send out newsletters or buy mailing lists of a bunch of, let's say, 5,000, internet shoppers or 5,000 people who like real estate, because you really the return on investment in that is really just not. It's not what it's supposed to be.
Speaking of ROI, let me share something with you.
Sure.
Again, I'm more of a LinkedIn guy, so that's where I focus my social media attention. But people will do some really crazy things on social media, like connect with you, right, innocently.
I think I know where you're going with this.
And then 2 minutes later, you get an email
or a message.
I wanted to show you. Do you have I hope you saw my last message.
Yeah.
And it's a pre-programmed, pre-written thing that, and it's all part of a strategy to do business development on LinkedIn. And I write back to everyone that does that to me, and I say, I am not here to buy anything.
Yeah.
I'm here to network, and I'm here to provide content. I'm not here to buy anything. And that's what I think people that do that are lame, honestly, Frank. If you connect with me because you want to sell me something, then you just basically you killed your own.
You're nicer than me. I don't even reply.
Yeah, but I feel like, what it is? I feel like I have to say something to people, to straighten them out.
Right. Yeah.
It's not my job to do that, but I feel like
it's almost like you wish you could hang a no soliciting sign on your LinkedIn profile.
Yeah,
because
but do people really successfully sell that way?
It's you know what? It's most people don't reply to those things like you and I. But when you do it so much, if they get back 3 to 5% returns that convert into something
like a hacker,
it's worth it to them. Yeah,
right. I don't know, 3 to 5%. That's pretty low.
Or even lower than that. Whatever they get, they get. It's just a way of soliciting on the platform. I don't go for it.
Okay. Do not post in all caps because it's yelling.
It's yelling. It's urgent. It stresses.
It's needy.
It stresses urgency. And it's annoying to read.
Yeah.
It's screaming in people's faces. Never do that.
Right. Okay. And then do not excessively use hashtags. Now, this is an interesting subject with the hashtag.
Yeah.
I had to explain to somebody, and I wish you would do it for me, Frank. Somebody recently about why you need the @ sign before someone's name, right? They didn't get that it was connected to a particular platform or anything. Could you explain that?
The @ sign?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, at Twitter, or at whatever.
Right. Yeah. It's basically just identifying someone's handle on social media. That's it. So the hashtag is for keywords. The @ sign identifies a handle. So that's really what.
So it's John at. And then you'd give your handle on LinkedIn.
Yes, putting the @ before the person's name, it'll automatically link it to that person's profile and basically identify them that this is their handle on that platform.
Okay, but it's not for clicking. It doesn't take you anywhere.
It can if the post does automatically link it to it. Not all post platforms do it, but yes, it can benefit you in that way if it does.
Okay, and then as far as the hashtags, like when we post my radio show, I do job search,
right?
Job, and career.
Yeah,
and that's it. I don't go crazy.
Right. They say 8 to 10 is a good, comfortable amount per post. I mean, again,
that many?
Less is more with better tags. But if you're going to throw in just a bunch of 15 or 20 hashtags, sometimes
I might also include something about the subject of the show.
Sure.
So like if it's mental health, so I might do job and so on and so on, and then I might do mental health.
But I see posts with sometimes 15, 20 hashtags, and some of them are really just irrelevant.
And they make up their own.
Awful.
They look awful.
It looks bad because it takes away from the substance of the post. And sometimes people, they make up their own. It's like, why are you making up a hashtag that nobody's really posting anything?
I know. People are silly.
Yeah.
Okay. Do not automate same content across all networks. Explain that.
Well, it's really just taking like the exact same post and putting it across all your platforms because it tends to bore the audience after a while. Like I said before, you want to basically be unique on each platform, get the same message across, but in a different in different unique ways pertaining to that audience. Like if you have a message you want to get across on Instagram, that's you want to make it more pictorial. If you're going on LinkedIn, maybe you want to combine a post with a text with a message. Just basically, just divvying up the way you project the message on each platform and just be a little different.
So we write an article every week, on job hunting. And we do post it on all of the different sites.
Right.
But that's because it's original content.
Yeah.
So I think that's acceptable.
But take advantage of the way each platform displays the content. Like Instagram is very pictorial. YouTube, videos. TikTok, the Reels. LinkedIn, it lets you explain things and, be more conservative and stuff. So really take advantage of all that the platform offers as far as displaying media and the way it displays the posts.
Yeah. I think 2023 is the year I'm going to do a lot more video. Because I feel that's the one area I haven't done, and I was on television for 24 years, for God's sake. I know how to do it.
I'm a YouTube guy. I love making YouTube videos.
Yeah. And I actually think of YouTube for music.
Yeah.
When I want music, I go to YouTube and I can see a video of just about anything.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the remember the song "Put the Lime in a Coconut"?
Yeah.
I was just thinking of this song. It was like going through my head.
Yeah.
And I couldn't stop thinking of it. And I went to YouTube and I put it on, and boom, I found it.
Yeah.
It took like 3 seconds to find.
YouTube has such a variety of content that people don't realize.
Yeah.
YouTube is the second biggest search engine in the world.
Yes.
Behind Google.
I'm a big advocate. Because I like to see a video rather than read content, rather than read text.
But people go there, and even when you search for something on Google, if you type Google a question, it's going to show you videos as well as that'll link to YouTube, as well as the answer to the question.
Yeah, YouTube is really cool, really amazing.
I love it.
Great site.
I love it.
And also non-political and no vitriol and all that
Lots
stuff.
of independent creators just doing what they want.
Right. Okay. And do not go for a number of followers. What do you mean?
Don't worry about, having... It's not about how many likes you have on your profile. It's the quality of people that like you. Like I mentioned earlier, you could have a profile that has 50, 100, 200,000 followers, and they have hardly any engagements on their posts. So if you're looking to partner with that person as an influencer, and look at how many people are engaging on their content as opposed to, how many followers they are, the ratio of engagement is very low. You'd rather go with the person who has maybe 50,000 followers, posts something, and they get 40 or 50 comments and likes on all their posts. That person has more quality followers. They're a better influencer for you.
And that makes a lot of sense.
Sure.
Okay. And then do not share depressing posts.
No, yeah, we talked about that before. Just nothing that's really, going to be, you don't want to be the Debbie Downer of the day,
right,
talking about what you're talking about. Stay away from negativity unless you're correcting it in a positive way. But just stay away from, things that are going to depress people and stuff.
All right. Now, I'm going to hit you with a question. We don't have much time, but I'll try and do it fast.
Sure.
We had a person doing some social media for us, and I actually seized control of the social media because I didn't like what I was seeing.
Right.
I was seeing a graphic for Veterans Day, a graphic for every holiday, every single time there was a holiday, or it was Secretary's Day or something. That's what she was making graphics for. So Executive Alliance appreciates all the secretaries that are out there. I said, how can we make any money doing that? I said, we're not going to attract any business just thanking people, which everybody else is doing anyway.
Yeah.
So I said, let's focus more on B2B. Let's have posts that are business tips, like I explained, and other things. And our social media has grown tremendously because we're not just putting up these, kind of silly things.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean but that's what you're targeting. So you're targeting, the B2B in that sense, and that's why you got more of a reaction from it. But a lot of companies do that. They like to post the happy this, happy that on the holidays and stuff. No,
I mean like Thanksgiving, I get it.
Yeah,
but
Secretary's Day, and all that
some
kind
of these
stuff.
things are silly.
Yeah.
All right, one more time. I want you to tell people how they can reach you, your website, if they're interested in an expert like yourself.
Yeah, my website is frankdeblasi.com. That's FrankDeblasi.com. And I've been building and managing websites, like I said at the beginning of the show, for over 20 years. I also have my own side company as well, a side venture, hoopladupla.com. It's a loyalty rewards shopping site, which is doing very well this time of year. And that's how they can reach me.
Okay. Do you have an email address, Frank?
Frank J. DeBlasi @gmail.com.
Okay, fantastic.
And they can contact me directly through my website in a number of ways.
Excellent. Great job, Frank.
Okay.
Thanks
for having me,
so
Scott.
much for being here.
Thanks again. Happy holidays to you and all your listeners.
Yes, sir. We'll be back again next week, folks, with another show. Yes, and happy holidays. We do hope you had a great Thanksgiving and that you're enjoying the holiday season, despite all the mess that's going on around us. But you got to be strong and tough it out. But this recession may be over sooner than later. We'll see. Like I said, we'll be back with the show next week. I want you to have a great week, everybody. Happy hunting.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors. Management or its sponsors. Management or its sponsors. Management or its sponsors. Management or its sponsors.